Hello, creatures, and welcome back to, well, now we're doing some live content again, and it's been a minute. Now, obviously, this looks very different, and I will say that's because I have decided that I want to do some form of podcast or radio or talk show, whatever it may be. But this is going to be the introductory live stream topic, channel, discussion, video, other words that don't really mean a whole lot. We're gonna hey Ferret, hello, welcome. So we're going to be probably moving this kind of content over to a different channel, so I'm gonna try and get through the introduction here really quickly. It's going to be Creature Chats, so we're gonna try and do this every Saturday if we can, and we're gonna be trying to go for some clickbaity controversial topics, and then just having conversations with you. So when you pop into chat, you can actually give your input on our topic at hand, at the topic that we want to talk about. And when I say we, I mean we, the two of us on the couch. Hello.
Hi.
So
Uh-oh.
there go the dogs. All right. There, we're good. We're going to go through some bumpy little bits here. So this is Mrs. Creature. Say hello, Mrs. Creature. You know, as soon as the other furry creatures don't want to keep going. Hey,
hello.
Fralien, hello. Apologies for the radio silence of late. Yeah, podcast. So we're gonna do a little bit of podcast stuff.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mrs. Creature. Introduce yourself.
So I'm the missus. I don't know what else to say. I'm the behind the scenes. I'm the gaming other half, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you actually started your own little channel that's also mainly podcasts. So
Yes.
you do a lot more kind of pre-recorded content, so that way you can go through and kind of edit yourself. Meanwhile, me, I want to do the live on the spot, just kind of like hang out.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think we're going to move this over to Creature Chats, make a new channel specifically for this, but this I thought would be a good introduction for it. So I'm going to go ahead and give a quick little, how's everyone doing in chat land? How's everyone's day going? I haven't been like super active in like our social media circles and stuff. I've been trying to keep up with the Discord and everything. So I appreciate you showing up. I really do. Ferret says, hello, Mrs. Creature. How's it popping?
Aw. Hi. I'm just here. That's not true. I do this like every week, but it's very different. So it's going to be an interesting thing to do with you, because most of the stuff I do Can You Say That? And people don't realize you actually produce Can You Say That? Can You Say That's a Code Creature production?
Yeah.
And so I do this, but not with you. So it's very weird.
Yeah, actually, I guess the delay on this is going to make it a little difficult to interact with everybody in chat. But yes, if you check out the channel, specifically on the like bottom of the channel, I have a couple of channels I've worked with, and I've got your channel and then another channel that I just kind of enjoyed their content and put them up there. So yeah, you can check it out on the channel. Go check out the stuff that she talks about. It is with her and her mom, so they kind of go wild with it. And the discussion, the topic at hand today is going to be, I feel like I'm a little addicted to content creation, honestly. Like, that is the
I think you're
topic
right.
at hand. I personally get a big dopamine rush just from recording and putting stuff out to everyone and just kind of really seeing how you react to it. Now sometimes I get those less than great comments, but you all really outweigh those with all of the like kind words and really just fun to interact with. I would love to be able to. That's another reason that long couch. That's another reason why I want to bring this up and be more live content, so we can hang out, interact. At some point, I do want to bring back like the gaming live streams. I think that's the only way that I'll be able to do variety content.
Yeah.
There we go. Got to remember which cameras I'm working with here. But yeah, I think that'll be the only way that I can actually do variety content, because the algorithm is not very kind to trying to do super variety gaming hours like I want to do. Fralien is amazed at the length of the couch. It is pretty long. Look, like I can spread my leg out all the way here.
I do think
Also,
our height is misleading with this couch. I'm like 5'3", so it makes it seem like it's way longer than it is.
I'm a good 5'8", just about.
We are not tall people.
No, not super tall. 5'8", 5'10", if I'm wearing the good kind of shoes. So yeah, the topic being, I feel like I'm a little addicted to this. How do you feel about that?
I think you're right.
Okay.
So if I'm correct, Creature Chats is channel number 5 that you produce, or
Yeah,
are
I'm
actively
in the
working.
middle of producing. Yeah.
So this is 5.
Mm-hmm.
There's 5 of them. Like, I don't.
Yeah, I got a problem. I really got a problem.
I think it's not super obvious until you're the other half in the relationship, and then you're like, what is going on with this channel that I thought you already did stuff on? You're like, no, I have 7 more. So I think it's obvious when you're me, but probably not to anybody else who's involved in our lives.
Yeah, it's really, really hard because I, being ADHD riddle and all of those things, I personally, especially when we're talking about like an idea or a topic or something, we recently started talking about you doing, so you're, like I said, you're already doing the podcast, and it's a lot of work to try and do that podcast. But we also started talking about you doing like a fashion show, a fashion channel specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it ended up being our entire little, we went on a date, and we had this one discussion about how much you liked it, and you saw these creators and you were like, maybe. And then so I pulled out the napkin from the table and was like, you know what, we're going to pin down some napkin details, and here's how you do it. We're going to start with this stuff. And then you always have to stop me like, whoa, this is just an idea. We don't need to go to full concept right now. But I don't work in that way.
No, you don't. And you have what I love to call starting energy.
Mm-hmm.
You love to start a project. You do not love to finish a project. I would be surprised if that napkin is somewhere in my office right now, though, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kind of a joke, but not really. Like, there's a lot of times where we just have to pick up scraps of paper where you've doodled something down. I'm just like collecting these weird scraps of paper.
I literally, so your office used to be my office.
Yes.
We literally turned an entire wall into a whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I could jot down notes and stuff like that. So when I moved downstairs,
Yeah.
I actually just bought a whole separate whiteboard that I can just move around and everything.
Yeah.
I think some of you may have seen it. I think I did like a quick little random live stream on that like earthbending game that I was playing. And I was like, screw it. We'll throw out some, we'll pull up the whiteboard for some reason. I don't know. I'm going crazy. So actually, I have a question to anyone that is currently watching. What is something that maybe you spend a little bit too much time, too much effort in, but you really enjoy it? Like, even if you don't have to get paid for it, you don't have to get anything out of it except for satisfaction. What's something that you invest all of your energy into? And if it is your job, that's awesome. Tell me about it. Like, let me know. Let me know.
Say, other than your content creation, yours is everything else. Like, people don't realize, especially like your followers, the people who like to watch you and stuff, they don't realize like you're just like this. People, a lot of times I think like people watching assume that content creators are not like this. It's just for the content. It's just for the views or whatever. People don't realize you are 100% like this all the time, as far as like, we're going to start a project and we're going to go all the way with this project. Your other thing is like cooking. And I have such ridiculous things in my kitchen.
Oh, don't get me started on cooking. I'm about five conversations away from starting a cooking YouTube channel. Just I've started watching, what is it? Joshua
Weissman.
Joshua Weissman. I've started watching Joshua, and let me tell you, he's got the kind of energy that I would have in the kitchen if I had a camera in front of me.
Yes.
Full on slap some ingredients down and go at it. Just make some wild stuff. And I would definitely have a fun time. Now, my problem is at some point I have to sleep and actually like interact with the family and stuff and be here. If I weren't trying to actually be involved in family life and, you know, having actual balance in my life, I would literally never not be in front of a camera, apparently, because it's just such a weird amount of extra dopamine that I get for producing something, like just recording, editing, getting it set up, and seeing the finished product. Sometimes I don't put out the best quality content all the time. I'm not gonna lie, but every bit of video that I've put out, I've cut at least like 3 to 4 times that amount of content and thrown it away, because I have a bit of a problem in that I want it to be the highest quality possible.
Yes.
Speaking of which, please let me know if for some reason like the background music's a little too loud or my audio Mrs. Creature's audio is not coming through. Like we did one test recording and I was like, we're going live, go.
Starting energy. Like that's where we're at.
Oh.
I will say, when you look at being like the way that you do this stuff, even with our like life, our personal life off camera and everything, there was even a conversation at one point that you were like, hey, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start vlogging our family. And I was like, no, this is where the content creation must stop.
Yeah, so we saw someone doing like a vlog of their firstborn child, and they wanted to keep track of that, and I thought that was so cool. But then I also realized that very quickly that was so much more effort than I could put into. When we like finally get to a point of being able to have enough income to employ editors, maybe then I'll start doing like vlog channel stuff. Okay, we got a couple of chat bits. There we go.
Ooh, goody. What do we have?
Yeah. Okay, so Ferret says he loves fighting way too much, whether it's verbal fighting.
I have a friend like that.
There it is. I thought that said spamming. Sparring in his martial art class. He loves fighting. Arguments are his jam.
I have a friend like that who literally lives to argue with you. Like, he went to law school. He then went into financial planning, and he is one of those people. He's like one of the smartest people I know, and he lives to just freaking fight. Like, he's just like fisticuffs 100% of the time.
Yeah, you were in debate for a minute, where you enjoyed it too. Yeah.
So yeah, but you can't argue like that with people all the time if you want to have healthy relationships with people. So
yeah. Fralian says, do I create content for just for the pleasure or monetizing it to build an empire? So the ultimate goal is to eventually turn this into something that I can do as just a day job. Spend 8 hours a day nonstop. Honestly, it'd turn into like 12 hours a day if I did do this full time, because even right now I'm putting in like the extra hours when I can on top of my full-time job. So now that I've toned my content down to Minecraft only to try and like appease the algorithm and only do that kind of content, it's taken way more effort to edit, and that's why it's come down to like one video a week, and I'm trying to do shorts and everything in between to help it grow. So a bit of a mix. I would not still be doing this if I didn't get a lot of pleasure from it, because it doesn't give me like any money. I was going to
say, that's a big thing that you should point out here, is that you didn't even become monetized until like late last year. So those who have been around since like the creation of the channel probably don't realize that for most of the time that Code Creature has been around and live and all of these things, there's been no money. We've been shelling it out of our account. Like, it's definitely not for the glam, you know?
Right. Now, I do. So let's see. If I were to put a number on how much I've made for the channel, it's probably around $1,000 or so. But I gave away most of that during like live streams. So that 1 month where Dome Keeper was doing really, really well, it was October. It blew up on the channel, and it was doing really, really great. And then other content creators started getting into it. So then YouTube was like, oh, we'll just give these people the show. It was really good because I was like one of the first couple of people to get into it, and it really blew up for a good month. And in that time, I gave probably I'd say around $300 away. I gave a like significant chunk of the money that I had made in that month away to just the community, because I didn't think that was really right for me to hold on to that money at that time, because until it becomes like a regular income, it's just kind of like random new money. So when I get those big boosts is when I try to do like the giveaways, because I think that's way more fun to hang out with everyone and kind of give away and say thank you, basically. Like it's a big thank you when I'm doing that.
I remember you getting your first like monetized video, and we were at my family's house. The only reason I know this is because it was like right around like the big starting of the season for Halloween, which is big in my family. And I remember you getting the first video and you were like, it got monetized. I am monetized. And it was like $5. It was not a lot of money at all.
Yeah. So let's see. I don't think it was last year, but the year before, in the very end of December, I had gotten monetized. Like we had gotten to 1,000 subscribers, and then that had happened, and I had made 20 cents. I had made like 20 cents or something.
It was
And
so small.
Yeah. We got someone popping in saying that their name is legally the community, and they're asking where their money is. So if you can provide me a birth certificate, proving that your name is legally the community, we might need to talk. We might need to talk about that because I might owe you something. Welcome to the stream, by the way.
It's 20 cents. It's based off of the first video that you ever got monetized, so it's like 20 cents. That's what we're gonna owe the community.
Oh yeah, so Ferret apparently came in on the Drillbert video. I think I remember which video that was. I posted like 3 or 4 Drillbert videos for sure, just because like randomly that was the most popular one to post. And yeah, I remember Fraley, you were like the first member, and you've stuck onto that for a minute, and I appreciate it. So it's really just my best way of saying thank you again. Like,
it's insane to me how many of your subscribers you know by username, because there's like the Code Creature family is what, like 3,000 strong, 4,000 strong. It's getting up there.
We are at 32.
It's a lot.
I don't remember.
It's a lot of usernames to just know offhand.
It's definitely over 3,000, and it's daunting to think about that. Even though, sure, there's like other YouTube channels that like pop on with one video and hit like 100,000
insanity
subs or whatever. But I kind of enjoy the pace that it's going at right now. It's a little fast, and the people who, although the amount of people that come in and are actually wanting to interact with me is much smaller than the amount of people who subscribe. So that makes it a little bit easier.
I remember the first round of videos, because if you came in later, people don't necessarily realize like the first round of videos you ever did were live streams you and I did, and we did It Takes Two, I think is the game. I know it was the game that causes divorces.
Oh yeah,
I remember that very distinctly. And if you were around during that time, people don't realize like that started like years ago. This has been a couple of years of building up. Like this is before, right after we got married, before we had a baby, like all of that crazy kind of stuff. But it was like 3 people in that first live stream. One maybe that we didn't know personally some way or another.
Yeah.
But it's been a huge build up, like massive.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I think, so what was it? 2020, I think, was when I started messing around with TikTok. I think you and your friend were really enjoying TikTok, and I didn't understand it. I was like, it's just Vine again.
Yeah.
I don't want Vine. That wasn't fun. Like that went away so quick. And then I had noticed that it was sticking around for a second. So at some point, I think I'd seen some videos on there that just seemed super low effort, and I was like, I could do some low effort. I could put some low effort out here and just see what happens. And I was doing 3D printing stuff. And then randomly,
you went viral.
Yeah. I randomly found a song called Scald. It was by Scald. It was called Run. And I edited the video to look like the print was going along to the beat. And it hit some like 3 or 4 million views on TikTok. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is real. What happened here?
I remember this because the friend that I had that was talking to me about TikTok, he is actually a subscriber. He subscribed in the very, very early days. And I remember me and him were messaging back and forth about this because he's a fire dancer and he's really, really good. And so all of that is like super high energy and high effort and really, really, really difficult. And I was like, I remember messaging him and being like, my jerk of a husband went viral over a 3D printer that you already had.
Yeah.
You just had that. That was something you had been doing as a hobby. So you already had the printer. You already had the equipment for like no reason. And here's my friend who was like outrageously putting effort into TikTok to try to like kind of build it because it was cool and it was fun.
Yeah.
And then here you came along with like this much effort and a dream and went viral.
Now, I will say, although I was going for hyper low effort content, the stuff that I just would record and just put up and it would do it all automatically, that stuff worked sort of to an extent. It would get a couple hundred to a couple of thousand views, and on TikTok, that's not a lot. The big difference between that and what I ended up uploading that got a couple million views was I put way too much effort into that thing. I spent probably a week straight editing this 30-second video.
I think it was
Hey,
the
Bubby.
axe, right?
Yeah, it was my Viking axe. I swear I spent like an entire week straight, and I think I pretty much played hooky at work. Don't tell anyone. I don't work there anymore. Don't tell anyone. I spent a week straight editing this. This was my first time like figuring out how to edit videos and using something. I used DaVinci Resolve because it's free. So I had no idea what I was doing. I was doing a bunch of manual stuff, like manually speeding something up and slowing it down, and it was pain, but I was really bobbing along to that song. I was like, this song is great. This is my best song that I've ever heard, and it gets my heart going. So I'm fine listening to this nonstop every day until the end of time, apparently. So I was very lucky that I enjoyed that song, because otherwise that would have been horrible.
The song that you're talking about, isn't it the My Mother Told Me song? Like the super hardcore Viking song that's like, my mother told me someday I would find.
No, that is the sailor, the sailor shanties.
Oh, you mean the ones that Now Our Son Can't Live Without?
Now I do love those songs, yeah, and I think I might have done a couple of those, and those did okay. But yeah, let's see. Actually, quick question to chat: do you have any videos specifically, like, number one, do you watch TikTok or Shorts, or do you just avoid the short form content altogether? I could be using this camera. That'd be great. Which one of those varieties of short form content do you prefer? Or do you just hate it altogether and you just avoid all of it?
Which do you prefer?
I have stopped using TikTok, and that's slightly because...
Nope.
Well, I don't know why I stopped using TikTok. I just completely stopped using it entirely. I only use it to watch the ones that you send me. And now I'm full YouTube Shorts devotee, and that's mostly because it's where my channel is. So I don't know if I would even be looking at Shorts if I wasn't making Shorts already. Like, I don't know what I would do with that. Also, YouTube's been pretty generous to me in giving me a couple more views than TikTok does. So, I've definitely not biased in any way. You got anything to say about that?
One, you never made it into the creator fund on TikTok, which
Yes, I did.
I don't think you made it in for very long.
So I made it in the creator fund, but I didn't make it in there before my other video went viral, so I didn't make any money on it.
I don't remember us getting money from TikTok, because I would know. I would remember if we got because you get tax documents and stuff for that stuff. And I, as the person who does our taxes in our house, would have remembered getting a TikTok 1099. I would have framed it and put it up on the wall.
I maybe got I'm messing up these camera angles.
Nice.
I maybe got $50 in total from TikTok, and I had a couple of videos hit 50 million views or so. So
apparently it's very hard to maintain. I watch a ton of TikTok, a dumb amount of TikTok.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's actually very hard to maintain a level and source of income from TikTok. Almost every TikTok creator I watch is I'm also on these other 17 things because this ain't enough. Most of them are actually doing what you do now, which is they turn around and they're like, I'm just going to put this on YouTube. It's way easier.
Honestly, YouTube is very good to their creators. Compared to everyone else.
Really? I'm a very small creator comparatively. I have no idea what's happening.
So if you compare YouTube to all of the other content platforms that are out there, I think your microphone died.
I tapped it so no one had to hear me drink water.
Yeah. If you compare YouTube to all the other content creator platforms out there, YouTube is among the best that there is. Now, they take the 50-50 split of all the revenue and everything, but compared to Twitch, where Twitch takes the bigger chunk out of it and sometimes doesn't even pay people. People are having a really hard time getting paid on Twitch, which is why I won't go and stream over there. And also, it's a lot easier to just stream right here and have people pop in and say hi and be fun.
You love being able to connect with your community. When we talk about the channel as a whole, because this is an ongoing conversation in our house. You don't do this in the background, but when you are talking about the channel, it is all about what more for the community. Well, I need to keep this up for the community. Well, I need to pop into Discord for the community. It is never, by the way, we're going to say that, watch that one guy produce a birth certificate out of random. But it's always about that. That's part of why you said in the past that you don't love Twitch, is that you can't get to more of your community that way, and you want to be able to connect with them way more.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Twitch is too bad for connecting with your community because you have to be live, but that's the big thing. You have to be live all the time on Twitch. And with YouTube, I started YouTube. We, like you said, we were just doing the
It Takes Two.
You and I were streaming a whole lot, and that did pretty good. I think
it did not compare to like your
well,
youth.
yeah, not comparably now, but it did good in getting me started and kind of interacting with people, and that was fun. It was, whoops, I changed the camera angle. That was fun. That was a lot of fun, but I, especially with having a full-time other job, can't do that all the time.
No.
And that's really sad. I really wish that I could stream all the time. I would definitely, in the very least, I would like to be able to like stream some gameplay with everyone on Friday or something, but this is kind of my compromise, and we'll do a little video stream and podcast thing. So we got a couple more chats. There we go. I was going to say comments, but those are pre-recorded content. So Ferret says they use YouTube Shorts because TikTok steals too much information, which makes them uncomfortable.
Fair.
You know what? I get that. I understand.
All about your comfort, baby.
Yeah, I totally. I think I agree with that. I think TikTok could be. They've definitely gotten in trouble with some of the things that they're doing, so it's a little iffy. And Google's already got all of my information.
So much of our information.
It's so much easier. And then Fralian says they watch the odd YouTube short, but it's rare and have no time for TikTok. So cool. I'm on the right platform. These people don't do the TikToks.
I mean, that works for a lot of people. I will say, I just can't. I'm so addicted to watching TikTok. It just like hit something in my own dopamine where I'm just like, oh, next.
Yeah. No,
especially food.
The shorts are very dopamine, like shorts and TikTok, short form content, very dopamine rich, but I don't know. I feel almost like hung over after a like TikTok or shorts binge.
Oh,
if I go for too long, it is a little bit too much. And then Ferret says they were thinking of streaming on Twitch or something. Oh yeah. So I would the advice that I had found is YouTube. It takes way more effort. YouTube takes way more effort to get going and started. But I mean, look at this. Like right now, it's very rewarding to get even a couple of views on a video and then get a couple of people to actually interact with frequently. And then if you're streaming on YouTube, it's very easy to connect that to some of your pre-recorded stuff and keep content going. Whereas Twitch is a little bit less. You don't go to Twitch for pre-recorded stuff, right? But the same argument could be given for you don't really go to YouTube too often for live stuff. Twitch is the place that you go for live stuff. So I would say weigh your own options, make your own decisions on that. My personal preference is it's so much easier now that I'm already on YouTube to just hit live, go live on YouTube, because you all get the notifications and it shows up in YouTube, and I don't have to make a new post like, hey, I'm doing the thing over on Twitch, and that conversion rate from going to other sites is so hard anyways. So unless you're only going to stream on Twitch and not really do a whole lot on YouTube, I would recommend starting to look at YouTube.
I will also say, as someone who, because I do the other half, right? Like you do live streams, you do pre-recorded, you do both. We only on Can You Say That? We only do pre-recorded content.
Right.
And I will tell you, if you have any issue with like maybe the way you talk, like I'm really bad about swearing. This is taking a monumental effort on my part. Like that's part of my daily language. Now, I don't know what the rules are over on Twitch, but I do know that one of the benefits of being able to do the pre-recorded content is take out stuff that you don't want public. Like we keep our child offline for the most part. Mm-hmm. He is not a part of like, Can You Say That? He is not a part of the Code Creature channels, like none of that. And so there have been times where I've slipped and like said their name. I've given away information that I haven't meant to, because on Can You Say That? I'm just talking with my mom. It's very, very easy. It's very, very easy to slip into real names, right? And being able to do the pre-recorded content where you can take that back out, you can bleep it, that really makes or breaks some of the content. Also, like we've just said, like we've talked about books or bodies, and we've said like anatomy terms
Mm-hmm.
that YouTube is not a fan of, and I've had to
Yeah,
go back and
definitely.
take away.
Ooh, actually, I think that's so I don't know if this is entirely related to it, but
We'll find out. Let's find out.
let's see. So if you were going to start, this is the question to Chatland. I don't know what is a good name for chat. Should I just go chat? I feel like that's too generic and not personal enough. So let's go Chatland for now. Drop some comment.
I don't know why you don't call it like chattering or cheatering or something like that. Like
Cheatering?
I can't remember if that's actually how you say that word, but I always read books and it's always like the creatures were chittering in the background. I really don't know if that's the right way to say that. I read a lot, but I don't listen to a lot of stuff, so I don't know if that's the right term.
I don't know why I'm not doing this. Question to the creatures. There we go. I reference that in every video. I go, hello, creatures. Why am I not just saying creatures?
I
So,
don't know.
question to the creatures. If you were going to either start making stuff on YouTube, TikTok, wherever you want to do it, if you were going to make your own content, or if content was going to be provided specifically for you, like, what would it be? Would it be gaming, cooking, vlogs? What is the thing that you enjoy the most to watch and enjoy? Personally,
I'd like you to answer that outside of gaming.
sure, yeah, I'll get there. Personally, now I think this branches out a little bit further. I would say I have actually started, the family here has started really enjoying some Bluey content. So I'd say some slice of life content. It's so wholesome, so nice, just makes your heart warm.
We are Bluey stands in this house.
Yeah, I love some Bluey. I'm not afraid to say it. I love some Bluey, and like it just makes me feel so
Seen.
warm. Yeah, it is very nice.
I love that. We are some Bluey stands in this house. It's pretty bad.
Oh, I love. So Ferret just said, oh, hold up, there we go. Ferret just said, we are the creatures, little monsters talking to you. I love that. That's
it.
cute. I like it.
I like it. Picasso.
Picasso.
I do. I love that. They're little monsters. That's cute.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, so yeah, I am doing like I really like some Bluey content, but what am I really enjoying? I guess so to the topic at hand that is kind of being discussed. Content creation is really my thing, like analytics on YouTube channels, how certain things do. Yeah, math really, but like what certain content creators are doing differently that help them grow quicker. So in what I said earlier, I'm addicted to content creation. It is really giving me that dopamine and serotonin and just all the happy chemicals. Did you know? So I recently got a new tattoo that I can't show because it's way up here and I'm wearing long sleeves. I was talking with my tattoo artist and he looked up the difference between dopamine and serotonin. So as one of the ones that is dopamine lacking, that's the one that I know. I know the dopamine issue. Serotonin, very different from dopamine. You probably have some parts to interject here. Would you like to?
I actually don't. Here's the thing. We always just make the joke out of like, you chase the dopamine, which is like, by the way, it's probably not like the most sensitive joke we could make given your ADHD, but there's some reality to it. There's a lot of started projects in our house because it gives you that dopamine to continue.
Yes.
That's why I have like a sous vide machine in my kitchen and why we have fermentation equipment in our house. Like, that's what you would do. You would probably do not just like kitchen stuff, but like you trying to follow someone else's recipe, and then getting mad halfway through and being like, this is a crappy recipe. I'm not doing it. Here's how I'm going to change this recipe. Like, that's what I think you would actually do if it wasn't just for like the gaming channel.
I think if I actually get the time to do it, the next channel is going to be like a cooking channel or a DIY channel, because those are two things that I am back and forth on with the dopamine. We will circle back to the dopamine serotonin thing that I brought up earlier, but sidetrack. I would definitely start like a cooking channel. I have a lot of fun cooking in general. I actually did a little bit of school to become a professional chef.
Yeah.
But not like I paid for it school, more like high school home ec, and I got certified kind of school. So I got certified in like restaurant management and stuff. So technically I could start a restaurant. It might not be successful, but I could do it. So the dopamine serotonin thing. Turns out dopamine is that quick fix. It's the quick quick happy feeling that you get when you watch like a YouTube short, because we'll use that as a reference.
Yeah.
When you watch a YouTube short, you get like that quick dopamine hit, like, oh, that's cool, I feel good, awesome. And then you turn off the shorts and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore. Meanwhile, serotonin is the long-lasting happy feel. Is the so we're going to talk about this. So serotonin is I believe the chemical that you are missing if you are depressed, if you are going through depression.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, I believe that if you have anxiety, you're missing a certain amount of serotonin as well. Don't quote me on that. I'm not positive enough to be like, for sure. My favorite joke about this is like I saw a comedian, I think her name is Taylor Momsen, something like that.
Yeah.
And she makes this joke about like, if you don't know what serotonin is, don't worry, you have enough. And that really speaks volumes to me about like
I thought that was
who we are
hilarious.
as people.
Okay, we got a couple more creatures talking over here.
Ooh.
So let's see what's going on here. Oh, I like that. So Fralian says that they have thought about doing a travel channel. Now I
Love
have to
it.
say, because I said my little current dopamine is looking into channels and seeing like things that can do really well. A travel channel could do really, really good. It's something that not a lot of people do, especially with our current times of after 2020 and all the things that are going on right now.
Right.
Travel is something that people are definitely looking for a lot in kind of like watching someone else do it, experience what they're seeing, because it's free, it's easy. You can even you can just dream about it with them. A travel channel I think would do amazing. And if you don't think you have the time for Alien, I would highly recommend just post some random shorts.
Do it local.
Yeah,
Like
you can do local.
we live in a specific area where there's kind of like this misconception that half the year there isn't anything to do, because we live in an area where it snows really
that's
badly.
big. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that we have found is that we have local TikTokers here who do go and they're like, okay, while it's snowing, here are the places you can go and things you can do. So like worst case, you don't have to travel to like some far off land. Just travel locally and put it up there, because I live for those.
Yeah, well, so
Absolutely.
Fralian actually gets to travel pretty far.
Yeah.
Like I've seen
Oops.
oh my goodness, spam everywhere. Fralian gets to travel pretty far, and I would personally, if you started that channel, I'd start watching it. I'd like to know more about what you're doing, like honestly.
I'd love to get the culture insights, because that's one of the things I think that we, in the area that we are in, we do miss is a lot more cultural insight to other cultures. So that would be something that I think would be really cool and like really awesome to see from another perspective.
Mm-hmm.
You got 2 subscribers right here out the gate if you start this channel.
Like no lie, post it.
Yeah.
I have a channel in the Discord. I don't think I have it linked in this description, but you could find it. Definitely the Discord has some like self-promotion stuff. If any of you decide to start something, throw some content up there. Throw every video in the self-promotion channel on Discord. I will very likely be checking it out and at least be 1 to 2 views of every video that you post.
I need to go into the Discord more often, because I'm in there, but I don't look at stuff.
Yeah, you are one of those subscribers that is a number and not really watching or participating in any of the things.
I have
right?
to change my username because it's actually like a personal name. And so now I have to go in and change it to like Miss Creature, so that when I go in and post, it's not like, it doesn't look weird to be like, hey, go do the dishes in the Discord or whatever. And they're like, who is this?
All right. Vern Gary giggles. Hello, welcome, first off. And they say, could you do a channel about how to use Raspberry Pis? So that would probably be something that I would get into. So the DIY channel is probably
Raspberry Pi. Okay, so I'm gonna like really show if I know what I'm talking about or not. Is it that the thing that's like the world's smallest computer? Is that what that is?
Pretty much.
Yes.
They're meant to be very small computers. Yeah. They're very good for like DIY techies that want to do stuff. So for example, I've had the thought that I want to make my own resin printer. Starting energy. Here we go. Sound off in chat if you got starting energy or finishing energy. And let me know if you need us to explain that. So starting energy here. I went and got all the parts that I would really need to make my own 3D resin printer. And so I went and got I got a monitor, I got a broken monitor, and I pulled apart everything so that I could pull apart the LCD, because a 3D resin printer is really just a black and white LCD screen with a UV light shining through it. So I was like, cool, I can do that. Got all the pieces, and then got disorganized, and now my corner of the office is just dedicated to a whole bunch of stuff that I haven't started yet or finished yet. It's all started.
Is that what that tool chest is covered in? I didn't know it was for that. Are you serious?
It's pretty bad. Really, really good starting energy. I will start any project and just about never finish them. It's really hard. That's where Mrs. Creature comes in with the hey,
Yes.
finish the thing. We got finishing energy over here, so we're gonna make sure that the deck actually gets painted this summer.
I definitely have the finishing energy. We actually did a whole podcast on being like married and in love with a left brain, which is very much, I think, where the starting energy really lives.
Right.
Is because, which if you want to go watch that, I'm going to plug my own thing because I only have 40 subscribers to your 3,000. So, but one of the things that I think really tends to happen with the chase the dopamine is that once that dopamine is hit and done, y'all do not go back. Like,
that might be it. Once I've gotten the dopamine fix, and then, okay, so that's definitely part of it.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is a great metaphor that I've heard before with ADHD. Is people build up brick walls to tasks and obstacles in front of them, and each little thing they have to do is a brick that they have to remove from that wall. So for example, to get back into my resin printer, I have to first clean off that spot that I was working on, so that's one brick, and then I have to get all the stuff that I put away for that resin printer and put it back on the table. That's another brick, and then they just all stack up. So yes, once the dopamine's hit, it's kind of a lot easier to get rid of it.
Solution.
What is your solution?
I have a solution. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's my thought process. Record it and then make it content. And all of a sudden that studio will be spotless.
That's why there aren't any videos in the office.
Is that really why?
Well, yeah, sort of. Yeah, a little bit. I kind of would like to do some videos in there, but yeah, it's very hard for me to get that cleaned enough. But yeah, if I were to gonna do like some content video, it'd probably be clean. And Fraley says they're heading out. See ya. Thank you for popping in. Really appreciate it. I definitely, if you start that Travel Shorts channel,
let us know.
Pop in the Discord. I want to check it out.
Do it if you want an office tour, a studio tour for Code Creature, you should also drop that in your comments, because here's the thing people don't realize, I guess, or at least it's something that people don't think about. As a starting YouTuber, as a smaller YouTuber, your studio is in my house. And so the level of mess of your studio lives in my house.
Hey, I've gotten really good though. I've kept it mostly in that area. It's contained to
your office. It really is.
For the most part, it's contained. Yeah. And then let's see. Ferret. They say they used to listen to hours of D&D podcasts, like way too much. Oh,
let's talk about D&D, baby.
That's good. I like that little format. I think that could really go well into like a podcast. Absolutely. For sure. So I could understand why you would spend several hundred hours doing that. Honestly, I have let's see, Northern Lion, probably something that y'all would know in chat. Northern Lion, I listen to his Binding of Isaac videos.
Oh, I know.
And
exactly
I only listen to that. I only listen to that to go to sleep. So I've probably given him like several thousand views just because I sleep with his content on. Like, it just puts me to sleep. Not in a bad way. It silenced the ADHD brain.
The repetition.
Yeah.
I would say, like, we are actually D&D players. Like, we have I say my baby brother, like he's like a child. My baby brother's 20 something years old. But my little brother, he is actually our DM. And we play a lot of D&D. We did for a long time, and then we had to stop. And hopefully we're getting back into it. But I have to say that would be one of those things I have often told my brothers, like, just record the session.
Honestly, yeah.
Record it. It's funny. My whole family plays, so we're super, super funny the whole time. But that is one of those things I think so many people would love, because people listen to audiobooks to go to sleep. It's the same thing. Like, yeah. It is the exact same thing. I listen to an audiobook to go to bed every night. Mm-hmm. A campaign's no different.
Yeah, I don't know. You're probably right with the repetition bit. But for me, I had an issue where I needed something new. Like, I couldn't listen to the exact same video. So I don't know if it's exactly repetition there. But it is like the way that he would talk. It wasn't like super loud or like screaming or anything. He was just kind of talking about his day, doing whatever. And I would just put that on and it would stop, because if I didn't have that, my brain would go to, hey, what if we thought about this idea? And we have to think about how exactly to complete the idea and how it can go to market. And like, let's make a chicken restaurant. Let's do that. You make good chicken. Let's start a YouTube channel about it as well while we're at it, because you've got time for that. And
there has been many a time when your like headphones are dead for the night, or like we left them at home when we went on our family trip last year, and you kept rolling over and you kept going, hey, what do you think about this idea? And I remember very distinctly on the camping trip, I finally went, it is 3:00 in the morning. I am going to sleep. Stop waking me up for your dopamine. And yet you still woke me up at least once or twice a night, because be like, what if we did this thing? What about this thing? What about this thing?
I honestly don't remember that. I think I might have actually been sort of asleep, like sleep talking. I'm
you do that
very
a lot.
bad about that. Yeah, that, you know what, I'll say that that's mostly because of the ADHD voice in my head that wakes me up in the middle of the night. I had a couple of times where apparently in college, I would there were times where my roommates would see me walking around the apartment and they would try to talk with me, and I would just kind of like shrug them off or whatever. And they talked to me the next morning, and
you have
like
no memory,
not a single memory. And they would say, hey, you were like up late last night, like working on your stuff. Like, what were you doing? And I would respond with, you sure about that? Because I don't remember any bit of it. I was not there for that.
It is pretty, like, this is all part of the other half that people don't see of your content creation, and like this level of addiction that's really kind of spiraled is that this is a nonstop thing. Like, and don't get me wrong, it's not taking like away from our family, away from us spending time with other people, which is great, because if it did, then I'd have to, you know, cut Code Creature off at the knees. But no. But one of the things that I don't think people necessarily think about or realize is the behind the scenes stuff that happens. It's not just like getting on there and, you know, playing Minecraft for a little bit and then putting it out on YouTube.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
No, we talk about Minecraft. We talk about the channel. I literally don't hear about your full-time job anymore. I only hear about
Look, I have way more fun doing this than my full-time job. I don't hate my job.
No, that helps.
Yeah, I don't hate my job. It pays the bills very well, and I actually get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. But I get so much more dopamine out of this. I way more prefer this.
It is insane the amount we talk about your channel. Like, we were kind of making jokes earlier that it takes over our lives when you get a new game for the channel for about 6 weeks at a time. So like when Pokemon Scarlet and Violet were popular, that overtook our entire household for like 2 months straight. And it's not just like, okay, I'm going to make this video and I'm going to do this content and then we're going to post it and see how it goes. It is, okay, so I'm playing this version. You need to play that version. We need to compare notes so I can come into your land and do this and do that. And what do you hate and what do you like? By the way, some of the opinions you hear were not opinions he had until he was like, do you like this part? And I was like, absolutely not. I hate this thing. So in case you're curious, those are that's what you're going to have to start posting in your videos. It's like, this is the Miss Creature opinion. She hates this thing. Just like flash it up on screen real quick, because I hate a lot of things about video games.
I think that could be fun.
But that's something people don't realize, is that the content just keeps building. Like you said, it's a brick wall, and more, and it builds behind the scenes as much as to the screen where little monsters and creatures can see it.
Yeah. Oh, I just realized that the music stopped. I gotta put this on like loop so that way it doesn't do that.
Well, and we are at a point where we should probably start wrapping up, unfortunately.
Yeah, we're pretty close. We're not too bad. It's like a 50-minute stream. So thank you so much to everyone who popped in, who got a check into blah, 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 blah. See, if this were pre-recorded, I could have cut that very easily. Also, I realized that I was talking without the camera on my face. So thank you, everyone, so much for hanging out. I really enjoy getting to do these little chats with you. Now, more than likely, I'm going to be moving this to a separate channel, because I don't know how well this is going to do as far as algorithm goes. I don't know if it's going to mess up the channel. So for safety measures, I'm probably going to create a second one. It's not linked anywhere, and that was really bad on my part. I will make a post in Discord and the community post. So keep an eye out there. It's going to be called creature chats. There we go. That's what I'm gonna call it. And yeah, I want to keep doing stuff like this. And for one last little shout out, Vern, Gary, 3D printing. They use PLA printer. What kind of we're gonna end the stream before you can answer me. But what kind of slicer do you use? I personally use Prusa. I think they have a lot more flexibility. It's a lot harder to get into, but if you get good at it, you can do a whole lot with it. And Cura is the user-friendly one that can probably fix a few of your problems.
Comment below if that's like something you want to hear him talk about, because these are going to be a lot more less scripted, more freeform kind of vibe in it.
Yeah.
And so this is all pretty much for you guys. Like, what do you want to hear? What kind of topics do you want to hear us talk about? And we actually discussed this. This doesn't have to be specific to gaming. We're pretty open about what you want to talk about. Like, do you want to talk about making ginger beer at home? I'm sure that's a conversation we can have. Do you want us to answer questions about, the creatures' personal lives? We can answer to an extent some of those.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, this is really all about not just like more serotonin and dopamine or whatever, but this is also, what do you guys want to hear about? We started this and talked about starting it because we kept getting questions over and over again that were more like this, that were more slice of life, that were more 3D printing conversations over gaming. And so comment. That's your job. You have a job.
Yeah. As a little taste of it, one of my other ideas for a topic that I wanted to go over, because I think it would get more clicks and be a little shock and awe, is war is dumb. I don't know. I'll change the title or something, but I do actually have, these are basically like the 3 a.m. conversations that I would have.
Would
before.
have.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what, oh, you're using Creality. Yeah. Okay. You know what, Vern, jump into Discord. I can probably help you out a little bit. Like, honestly, get talking in general for us. So, let's see. Yeah. Leave some comments on wherever you want to. This is going to be really random, just whatever. We have random conversations about that. It feels like they might be fun to talk about.
Yeah.
So, one last time, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We greatly appreciate your time and love hanging out with you and getting to talk to you. I love being able to put names to the number that the channel is growing to, and just being able to actually associate you all with the video that I'm creating. And when I'm recording, I like to think that I'm creating this for you. So thank you for hanging out. And you've honestly you are the reason that I have so much fun doing this content. So I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day. Love yourself. Have a great time. And I hope to see all of you creatures in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye.